Yes, people. How are we all? The devastating news has arrived of Chris Summerville's departure from the club. A big loss for Leeds United. A huge loss. One that I've always thought would happen, to be fair. In a way, I'm glad it happened now and not middle/end of August. I'm very happy. But regardless of everything else, this video is about the replacement. Who do we get in? How do we soften that blow? And can we bring a player in who can bring a lot to the side and make the side much better? A player arguably who is better than the Championship, a player who is at Leeds United in the Championship for 1 year to get us back to the Premier League and have that Premier League glory. I've been bullish, I've been ambitious with these picks because I think it's needed in this situation. Lost a top player, we need to bring in a good player who is a level with our current front players for me. So yeah, these are the guys that I think. Been preparing this video honestly for months because I've always thought Cree might go. But I'm prepared and I'm ready. Let's get into it. First one is NEC winger Sonji Hansen. Let's get into his details. Dutch winger, plays for NEC, obviously in the Eredivisie. We've had this guy on before. Really bullish about this player. I really like him. I like the style. I like what he does. And I really see potential in this young man. I really do. I think he's going to be a top player. Or could be, given the right circumstances in his career. I do believe that. Position, he can play either side of the wing. And this is a constant theme in these videos. If I'm being honest, the Chris Summerville replacement as of now for me is Wilfred Gnonto on that left. And if that's not the case, Wilfred Gnonto is on the right. Does he even stay? But the point is, the player we bring in, for the most part, is a versatile player who can play either side. I think that's important. And I think we'll be very fluid. Look at pre-season, we've had a very fluid front three. We've often moved around a lot. And this guy would work in that. He can play either side, he can play down the middle. He's a very direct, aggressive player. Valued at 3 million. Assuming he costs more than that slightly. But NEC have brought in a few wingers this season, 2 or 3 actually. I'm interested to see what that means for Hansen. But he's a player for me who is tailor-made to be in a side that he can really excel and progress. And I think the way we play would really suit his style of play. In terms of the player, last season in the Eredivisie, 33 games with 6 goals and 6 assists. Very even in that sense. 12 goal involvements in 33 games from a winger is fairly decent. I think you ask NEC fans, it's a bit mixed on him. Hey, no player's perfect. You can just look at his map there. Like, for instance, very, can play either side, can pop up centrally as well. A player that has that versatile side to him that I think is key. The reliance on Cree last year was too much. With too focused. Getting the ball to him in a certain area and him creating something. For me, we need players who are reliable, but in the sense that they can move around the pitch and have freedom. Fluidity in our build-up. It's so important to me. Cannot become stale. This guy can play any side. I like the way he can just drift around and move around the pitch. Pick the ball up in dangerous areas. Drive with it. Take a shot. Obviously, he's not as good as Chris Summerville, obviously. There's a lot of similarities in their style of play, actually, and actually their build and the way they run with the ball. There's similarities to that. It's not as good as Chris Summerville, and none of these players are. That's the key. Or they wouldn't be coming to Leeds to be going to the Premier League. But the players I really think can really help Leeds United, and he is one of them. He's one of my top picks because I think it's doable. I genuinely do. Here are his FBref stats from last season. As you can see, again, like I said, there is a slight air of inconsistency, but I just think Daniel Farke's really good at getting a tune out of quality players in this league. Players that have the ability, he's really good at getting out of them consistently in this league. He did it last year with all our front players, for the most part. This guy had a decent season in the Eredivisie, but I think there's levels to go for him. A good ball carrier, good dribbler, all the stuff you need. Good at cutting inside as well, good at going on the outside. Close ball control. Has aggressiveness to him, which I think we need. Part of that press as well, can be aggressive. Not the greatest, well, the stats say they're not the greatest in terms of passing, but again, this is to do with the risk side of the game, right? The risk passing, if you like. Yeah. Defensively, as you can see, he works hard and does get himself about. The key outcomes of this play, the key things I love about him, and what makes him, for me, one of the best contenders for this spot would be his 1v1 dribbling, his attacking mindset. You need a player that is willing to go forward and take them risks. That's where the numbers come from in the Championship, because if you're a player of quality in this league and you can get a consistent form going, you have that potential, you have that ceiling. Most defenders will not be able to keep up with you. They will not be able to match you. He is raw pace. He is a goal threat for me. Again, could be more consistent, but 6 goals and 6 assists in 33 games for a winger isn't bad at all. In the Eredivisie, be dropping down, obviously, a level that the Championship is from the Eredivisie, let's be clear. A lot of players are starting to come from the Eredivisie who have had good seasons in that league. One season off the Premier League, like I said, versatility, shooting off the dribble, something I really like, something I tried to do as a player, but hesitated. Someone that it can naturally, and again, look at the way Cree played, that dribble, and then always finding a solution at the end of that dribble. This guy, for me, when he's making the right decisions, because he can make the wrong decisions at times, like I said, there's a little rawness to him. When he does make the right decisions, it comes off and it looks really good. Concerns basic passing decisions, of course, using the right pass, using them basic passes, and consistency within games, has the ability to go quiet at times, but not necessarily through means of hesitant play, just through means of, again, finding the right positions. But when he's on it, and when he is there, for me, personally, I think he's ridiculously good. I'm sure NEC fans agree or disagree, of course. Fans at clubs see players different from the outside. That's just a fact, but this is based on what I think. I like this player a lot, and no one will tell me otherwise. I'm sorry. From what I've watched of him, and I really like him. Realistic A, I think it is. As a starter, season of the Premier League, played at Ajax when he was young, had a good youth career, not quite hit the mark people thought he would have. But you got a chance at Leeds United to hit that mark, and we know that from Summerville going to West Ham, now playing in the Premier League. Ceiling A, I think he's got a big ceiling, and fit A, I think his versatility really helps. The next one. Now, this one, like I said, this one is ambitious. This one would be a statement. Do I think it's impossible? No. Do I think it would be very tough? Yes. There is French sides linked to this guy. Saint-Etienne, I believe, who just been promoted, are linked. Nantes, I think, are linked. As of now, it's clear that PSG want to sell him. He was on loan in Belgium last season, in Switzerland last season, where he had a good season, but it's kind of gone under the radar for me. If you really look at the way he played, and he's just such a nice on the eye in terms of the way he moves the ball and the way he controls the ball and dominates the ball. Really underrated season. Gahabri, I don't even know if I said his name, but yeah, Ismail Gahabri. Yeah, he's just what you need. And the thing about him as well, look at the positional play there, the versatility again. Like I said, he'd predominantly play centrally, but picks the ball up in wide areas. For me, he can be a winger, definitely, especially in the way we play. Whether we're playing with them wingers more inverted, I think it works perfect. He's got a really good finesse shot on him. Obviously, plays for PSG. It's clear he's not wanted there. For me, it would be the value, how much, and can you convince him that this is the right project? You know, we are in the Championship, but what we are the favourites to get promoted to the Premier League. And with quality signings, you can convince other quality signings that, look, we have the squad. Look what we did last year. Look how close we are. You are quality. We are the favourites for the Premier League. We add you in it, and it's a no-brainer. And in one season, these guys could be in the Premier League. So that's the thought process. And if not, there is value from big teams wanting you from having a good team a season in the Championship. Look at all our players. Archie Gray, Chris Summerville. One good season in the Championship. Decent Premier League teams want you. There's always that. 20 years old. Small guy. Small diminutive. Like I said, look there, you can see from his positional. Play literally anywhere across that front three. Behind the striker. Left wing, right wing, attacking midfield. The fluidity that we need in our side. This guy has it. Look from his heat map. He played predominantly in the 10, I believe, in the Swiss Super League last season. Look where he picks the ball up. Look where he drives with it. Drops deep to find areas in build-up play. kind of similar to the role that Cantwell had under Daniel Farke. A really, really nice shot on him. Good numbers, 6 goals, 6 assists in 29 games from that attacking midfield / wing role last season. This would be an ambitious one, I can't lie. But we're talking about statements, people. There's not a bigger statement. I think I look at the way Carvalho came on loan to Hull in the middle of the season. I think this is a similar calibre player. I genuinely do. I think it's a similar calibre to Carvalho for me. I think that's the type of player you're getting. Kind of reminds me of Elias Schär as well, but with a little more quality at this point, if I'm being honest. But that type of player. Really lovely technical player. And we'll get into that now real quick. Key strengths, technical ability, working in tight spaces. Imagine that technical winger / 10 who can really work in tight spaces and really break down blocks of defenders with a little pass, a little dribble, a nice touch. Smart, quick play is the man for that. Close ball control, finesse shot. Like I said, he's got a lovely shot on him and he's not afraid to do it. And he's scored goals from outside the box. He's scored goals from areas you didn't expect him to. Finesse shots through the legs, bottom corners, side nettings. He can hit a ball. He's confident. He's versatile. His decision making is quick. Concerns, defensive ability. I think there's I don't really know what that means in terms of tackling and stuff like that, because predominantly is an attacker, but in terms of maybe that defensive reliance that we need from some of our wingers at times, I guess Summerville didn't have that in abundance, to be fair. In terms of real concerns, not much. I think he'd be an excellent signing. I think he'd be probably one of the, if not the best player in the league with Georgina Rutter, maybe a Hamer, that type of level. I genuinely do. Realism, C. Be tough. This top tier French teams wanting him, but they're not the top French teams, And we did get players from decent sides in Europe. Ceiling A, definitely. Fit A again, fit perfectly for us. Daniel Farke would love a player like this. We all would. The final one of the 3 before our new honourable mentions, and I know what everyone's saying. I've seen it, heard it. Him and Daniel Farke fell out. He's overrated, all this. Let's just put it this way. I've watched the entire interview where he talks about his time at Norwich and he talks about Daniel Farke. There's a situation where Daniel Farke dropped him. Didn't get fit. Weren't ready. Daniel Farke didn't seem as ready. Todd Cantwell didn't like that. He thought the conversation was different. Now, what happened was Daniel Farke got sacked quick after that situation, and Todd Cantwell remained in the under-21s. Whatever happened originally stayed when Daniel Farke left. And Todd Cantwell was confused by that, and he says all this in an interview. I genuinely can't remember where it was. He stayed in the 21s, and Dean Smith didn't take him out of it. He didn't feel treated right by that side of it. And he thought, and he hints at this, that it was decision above the manager. That's what he said. I think he's talking about Stuart Webber there. That's what he said. Was there a bit of steel? Was it the greatest end to their relationship? No. Would it be something I think would be something they can't improve? Absolutely not. I think they could. I think Daniel Farke is good at mending relationships with players who he falls out with, for whatever reason. Willie Gnonto is an example of that. I don't think it was this horrible, bitter thing that everyone's talking about. In that same interview, there's a lot of respect between Todd Cantwell and Daniel Farke. He says a lot of good things. He mentions him as a player that really believed in him and liked what he did and really give trust in him. It seemed to go bitter with people above Daniel. Maybe he felt betrayed by that. Find the interview on YouTube if you guys can. Watch it for yourselves. But anyway, Todd Cantwell. I really like the player. I've said this since we didn't go up. Said it. What's Todd Cantwell doing? That guy under Daniel Farke in the promotion season for Norwich was ridiculous for me. He was really, really good. 26 years old now. He's a more mature guy, which is also said and talked about. He's handed a transfer request in at Rangers. He wants to leave that league. I don't think he'll get a Prem move. Surely it's top end of the Championship. Under a manager that you did successful things with, if you can have a chat with him on the phone, for me, any problems would be sorted, because the main problem for me was with what happened with higher up and Dean Smith from what he said, not Daniel Farke. And again, the versatility of the player. The fact that he works under this manager, that is proven, he really gave him the breakout he needed. There's a lot of respect there in that sense. There is. I promise you there is. Last season in obviously for Rangers in Scotland, 26 games, 5 goals, 4 assists. And this is it with Todd Cantwell. And even in that promotion season at Norwich, he's never the type of player who gets these ridiculous goal tallies. But when he works in a system, he's super, super effective. And look at his heat map. This guy, in terms of being a versatile winger or a versatile 10, this guy literally can pop up in any position. He's so good at progressing the play and building up. So good at it. He's brave and he'll find spaces deep to receive the ball. If the play's slow and he don't like it, he'll ask for it. And he's good and compact in those areas. That season of Daniel Farke where they got promoted, he was really good. And actually the start of the Premier League season as well, when he was fitting in the side, was really good. He was probably their star. I think it'd be an excellent signing. Again, there is that question about what really is the relationship. I'm convinced from what I've read that he doesn't hold Daniel Farke in a low regard at all. Maybe there's a slight bit of awkwardness, but nothing a conversation couldn't solve for me. Who knows? No one really knows. From what he said, that's what I took. There was more problems with other managers and higher up than Daniel Farke himself, who he has a lot of respect for. He'd be a perfect fit for us. And the fact that he had in a transfer request. Come on. Key parts of his play. But freedom of play, key build-up player. He's so good in the build-up, people. So good. System understanding. Does that make sense? I don't care. He gets the system. He was one of the better players for Daniel Farke in this system. He works so well on that left. He has that free role. Him and Rutter together would be an absolute joke, by the way. He has drive, he has versatility, quick decision making. Concerns with the relationship, of course. And it seems he has a few relationship problems with managers. For the most part of the thing, until whatever happened at the end, which continued after Farke left, by the way. That's a key part here. When he got dropped by Farke, that continued when he left. That's what he feels weird about, he feels dodgy about. That is a thing you have to consider. But you fix that. Is there anyone better, more proven in a Daniel Farke system on the left side in the Championship to get you back to the Premier League? Not for me. Not for me. Realistic B, again, just because I think there will be a lot of teams wanting him. I do. Maybe go back to Norwich. I'm not sure what their relationship's like. Ceiling B, I think he's fairly close to that. But what is that for us? Under Daniel Farke, like I said, look, I'd like this. I really would. But A+, there's no one better. There's no one better for me, personally. And I've seen people say he's overrated and stuff. That's fine. Again, I take by what I judge, what I've seen from the player. That is all. That's how I do things. It's what I judge the player. I ask people. At the end of the day, it's what I judge the player to be. I watch, and like I said, I've been doing this video for months in preparation. So I'm really strong about these names I picked. He is right at the top of that list. Definitely. Honourable mentions. Loans, and this was buys, by the way. Dusan Raksaki. Obviously, we've spoke about this guy a lot. I spoke about him last year, about getting him in. Did it on the scout report with Joe as well. Top player. I'd be absolutely delighted if we got him in, because he is quality. He would be very, very good in this team. Very good. Very good indeed. I'd love him. David Brooks, again, decent player at this level. Ben Doak at Liverpool. More of a risk. Not really played too much first team football, especially at top level. Very high potential and very liked at Liverpool. Could you get a high loan for him? Bit more of a risk, but a good player. Too much value. These are some guys that I just really love watching, but probably want higher moves in the Championship and probably in a position where they can grant that. Is Koki Sieto and Kodai Sano, who are both Japanese wingers, play in the Eredivisie. Were decent seasons last year, 20 and 22 years old. Both very good technical wingers with brilliant ball control, great drive, a great brain, a decent end product. I just think now the way the Japanese market is going, these young wingers are a bit more liked, and there's bigger teams looking for them. If you get any of them two, I'd be delighted. Yeah, Nathan Nguomu at Borussia Mönchengladbach, who was there when Daniel Farke was there. But didn't play him a lot, but still a player like that who doesn't play so much at Borussia Mönchengladbach. I just really like him. I think he'd destroy the Championship. The only reason he's not in this list, I just don't know if he'd drop to the Championship. Again, you're one season off the Prem. There's always that. But yeah, Fabian Rees, who was unbelievable for Hertha Berlin last season. Ridiculous in Bundesliga 2, still there. Again, the German side of it, good player, very strong winger. I'd love him. You got Championship talents as well, Sarmiento, Mike Johnson at Celtic, but I think he's going to get a chance at Celtic. Jack Clark, probably too much, but I don't mind Jack Clark at all. But I'm assuming they'd be more than 15 million. Johnny Rowe, again, love him, probably too much. Morgan Whitaker, exact same reason. Too much value. No, the guys I said before, yeah. So yeah, they're the honourable mentions, people. And remember the entire list I did at the start as well. Like I said, I've been bullish with this one. I want to read, there they are. I've been very bullish, but I truly believe that we need a strong name. We need a strong name in this. This is important. But yeah, let me know what you guys think. Thank you all for all the support as usual. You're all legends. I'm not gonna lie, it is 4:30 AM. Busy few days, so this is going out as soon as it's finished, probably a few hours later. But yeah, I'm going to sleep. Thank you for watching the video. I appreciate every one of you. Big decisions to be made. Peace.